Do you want more consistent ball striking? Well, then let's talk about consistent ball position and how the two go hand in hand, and achieving that ball position is going to make you a much better ball striker. So when I have a student come to me, I always ask them, what do you want to get out of your golf lessons? And 90% of the time, they say to me, hey, I just need to be more consistent. And then a question I get asked a lot in golf lessons is, hey, where should my ball position be played? Should my ball position be played more in the back of my stance or more in the front of my stance? And I give this answer every single time. I tell them that I want them to play the ball position 2 inches inside their left heel for all of their golf clubs except for the driver. The driver, we will move it more forward. Now, I know there's a school of thought out there that says, hey, when the club gets shorter, you move it back in your stance. When the club's longer, you move it forward in your stance. But let me tell you why I like to keep the 2 inches inside my left heel a constant in the ball position, and how I move the ball position around in my stance while keeping that position. When determining where we want to play the ball position, we have to understand where the golf club wants to naturally bottom out in our golf swing. The golf club head moves in an arc, and there is going to be a natural bottom. And where that natural bottom is going to occur for us right-handed players is opposite of our left armpit. Now, the reason for that is because we grip the club with our left hand on top. Our right hand is down under or below our left hand. So the longest lever in my golf swing is from my left shoulder to the club head. Now, where that lever is attached to my body, which is my left armpit, is where the golf club wants to naturally bottom out. Well, that position is going to be right there. So you can see that it's slightly in front of this golf club that I have on the ground, which is marking my ball position. Well, we all know in a golf swing, when we hit a golf shot, that we want to hit ball first, then the turf. So I want my ball position slightly behind where the club is going to naturally bottom out. So therefore, it doesn't matter what club I have in my hand, whether it's a 9-iron, whether it's a 7-iron, whether it's a 3-iron. Every single one of those, the natural bottom to my swing is going to be just opposite of my left armpit. So my ball position, I want it to be consistent 2 inches inside my left heel. Now, does that mean that I always have my ball forward in my stance? And the answer is no, because I can move the ball position around in my stance without affecting that 2 inches inside my left heel by getting my right foot to narrow up or widen. So what I do with my right foot is then determining how far forward or more towards the middle of my stance my ball position is. So my stance width is going to vary with every single golf club. I have got a sand wedge right here. So if I was going to play a sand wedge, I want that ball position 2 inches inside my left heel, but I'm going to have a much narrower stance. I don't need a big wide stance with the sand wedge. It's not that big of a swing. The sand wedge is a more vertical swing. It's not going around as much. I don't need that wide base. So by me moving my right foot in a little narrower, it effectively moves that ball more towards the middle of my stance. But yet I have not changed the 2 inches inside my left heel, which should be just behind the bottom of my golf swing. Now, if I was going to put a 7-iron in my hand, okay, I get my 7-iron, I get my 2 inches inside my left heel. Now, if I had the same stance width that I had with my sand wedge, I don't feel comfortable. My feet are too close together. It's not going to support a bigger motion. So I am going to let my stance widen. Now, once I let my stance widen, that effectively moved the ball more forward in my stance. So let's take it one notch farther. Let's put a hybrid in my hand, okay? So if I get a hybrid in my hand and I have my stance the same width that I just had the 7-iron, again, I feel too narrow. This club just got longer. The club's going to go more around me. I think I want a wider base. So I'm going to let my right foot widen slightly. Again, that effectively moves the ball more forward in my stance. And let's go to the longest club in my bag, which is the driver. Now, the driver, I actually want to move almost up to my left heel because we want to catch the driver on an upswing, but I'm going to get the widest stance that I'm ever going to use with the driver. So look how far forward that ball position is now. So the narrower I get my stance, it gets my sternum a little more on top of the ball, which is going to give me more of a descending blow. The wider I get my stance, the more my sternum and my upper body moves behind the ball. So this is how I move the ball position around in my stance without changing the 2 inches or the relationship between the ball and my left heel. So here is the second reason why I want that ball position up off of my left heel, 2 inches inside my left heel. Because one of the fundamentals that we are trying to achieve in a golf swing is I want my left shoulder to be able to rotate behind the golf ball. So let's put that ball back in my stance. Okay, I've got a 7-iron again. Now I've got the ball back in my stance, which people say, hey, let's get a 7-iron. Let's just even put it in the middle of my stance. Now look how difficult it is for me to get my left shoulder behind the ball when I rotate. I've rotated and I'm right on top of the ball. If that ball gets in the back of my stance, I've got no chance to get behind the ball. And when I can't get behind the ball and I'm in front of it, I'm gonna flip my hands and throw that club head, which we all know is a disaster in the golf swing. So if you want to become a more consistent ball striker, you want to improve your ball striking, you need to get that ball position where it's in a consistent spot. Learn to play it 2 inches inside your left heel for all your clubs except for the driver, and learn to vary the width of your right foot to move the ball effectively within our stance. Well, I hope this information may have answered some questions that you've had in your golf swing, either about being a consistent ball striker or your ball position within your stance. And I want to thank y'all very much for coming in and watching this video. I'm going to give you a little heads up here. The next video that comes out is going to be from South America. 2 days from now, I'm going to be in an airplane heading to Uruguay. I'm going to be spending 10 days down there with a friend of mine, Juan Marquine. And Juan's a golf professional down there. And we're going to be doing some golf instruction. We're going to be doing some playing golf. There's going to be some videos coming out from down in South America. So be on the lookout for a little video from the Southern Hemisphere that's coming. If this information was helpful, give me a thumbs up. If you've never subscribed to my channel, please do hit that button down there as well. And hey, I'll see you from Uruguay.